episode 4. Finally figured out it was 4, not 3 or 2.
Hmm.
And I know that our episodes are kind of, they're not every couple, they're not every week. They're every couple of weeks. So that's just the way it's going because of schedules and stuff like that.
Yeah, we're just going with the flow pretty much. But we did have government radar devices last night. I'm just kidding. No, but
Yeah, they probably did.
we recorded a whole cast and yeah, it didn't record none of it.
Which
So
was, yeah, so this is a part 2 of that one,
yeah, we're
which
doing
is the same. So first off, tonight we're going to discuss like dreams, and we're going to get on like dreams seem to be a big thing at the moment, and then we'll get on to a few other bits and pieces as we go through it. So first off, I'm gonna talk about like basically, I think I talked about this one before. I don't know if I talked about it on the podcast though. I don't know if we did. Anyway, it's it's a weird little dream actually. I have a bit more memory of it now. So, we'll go on. So I used to always kind of I started I changed what I would have believed to I found like the divine feminine, and that's kind of what I talked about last night. And it's like we talked about Nyx, the Greek god, the Greek goddess who kind of created the world from well an egg, and she created Hypnos and Thanatos, which is the god of sleep, and Thanatos is the god of death. So those two have a kind of a connection. So is it say dreams and stuff like that? So I was saying last, like I started kind of I've tried different I've talked about different religions before, and I was raised Christian like a lot of people in this country, but then I kind of seen other things. I've tried Buddhism, and it's nice. Buddhism is nice. I would never not I could still do Buddhist meditations and stuff like that. But Buddhists never have said that they were gods, and they said Buddha wasn't a god. It was more philosophical. So it's a nice kind of structure, and it's probably one of the most peaceful kind of religious structures out there. So I've absolutely nothing against Buddhism, but I would call myself a pagan. And pagan is in like as I'm Irish, pagan is in our history. This our land before the Romans kind of conquered most of Europe, where we were Druids and pagans. So there's a lot of Druidic history in this country, and this a lot of stuff we don't know about the Druids. The Druids were probably one of the oldest religions in the world, I would say.
yeah,
No one really knows. Hmm?
they say druids did Stonehenge.
Yeah, they don't really know. That's still a bit of a mystery. I reckon it could have been maybe there was giants involved. You never know, because that's a structure that if you didn't have the right equipment, how would you make such an amazing structure? And giants are mentioned in like the Bible, like Goliath and stuff like that. So there has been mentions of it in that as well
Oh,
as the boy
and the
the
Anunnaki
boy.
were giants. And
Hmm?
then the Anunnaki, they were giants, and then they came
Yeah,
the Nephilim. That
that's
in the
yeah.
Bible.
All of these ones would have been classed as giants, and the size comparison is crazy.
Yeah, you can see
So,
genetics. But go ahead.
hmm?
I was gonna say you can still see it like come through in genetics. Sometimes
Yeah, that's
all people, anybody who like plays basketball, or especially like African American, because you know how like our bodies are built different. I don't know. Some people have an extra muscle, but um, I don't know if it's because we were bred from slavery to be fit like we are, but you know how you know
yeah.
it like people are good at sports pretty much. They're good at basketball,
Hmm.
running.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, they are. Yeah, I wish I was good at running. But yeah, when I was thinking, right, our dreams, like when we dream, do we actually physically leave this and go to another version of ourselves? And that's kind of where this dream starts off. So it's like it's quite a it's only a short one, but like it was a very unusual dream to me. So I personally think that there's an internal life being in everyone. And when you dream, you would kind of that light being goes to an alternative. universe or an alternative life of the same you,
Yeah,
but different.
mm,
So there was this one dream I had, and it was a strange one. First off, like it didn't it was weird. There's a bit more. I remembered a bit more about it anyway. So I was going into this. I think I said this, like it was like a shop, but it didn't sell anything, and it was just a really unusual kind of white kind of structure, really nice on the inside, and there was people there, but nothing was being sold. And then I was walking into this kind of area, and I seen this girl. And now this is not about gender and like I'm male, so therefore I'm biologically a male, and I think as a male, and I am a male, and as a male I am straight. So it's nothing to do with any of that. First off, but
we're talking spirit. Like anyway, you're in the spiritual realm because it's a dream. So we're talking like yeah, gender has nothing to do with this. It's the feeling that came with it. So express that.
yeah. So when I went in there, I seen this girl. Like I said, she was probably about 19 or 20. I'm not entirely sure. And I had a connection to her, but like I said, it wasn't a connection that was like male, like and female kind of thing. It wasn't that kind of dream. And I know people out there saying, "Oh, that was just a sex dream." No, it wasn't, because nothing like that happened. Um, but the connection to this particular person, like, and the weird thing is, how do I want to visualize her, but I can't, and that's what has it's so crazy. I think I visualized her with long blonde hair and blue eyes, but I'm not entirely sure if that was the case. And she would have dressed in a way I would dress, which is something I found kind of interesting. We dress very similar. She did have one slight difference though. She had these like sneakers. They're really cool looking sneakers. I wish they existed, but they don't exist. And they had this kind of like what looked like a diamond or a gem on them. And I'm not entirely sure what the significance of that was. Because what I can remember from the diamond or the gem, it looked like a kind of a universe. And that brings me to something else. I did have another dream with that weird kind of universe face thing. So I
Yeah.
don't even know if there's some connection to this. This was a really old dream. And it was weird. So in that dream, I was talking to her, and we were having, like, I don't even know what the conversation was about, but it was really something we knew about personally on a personal level. And again, I can't remember what it was. And then I went into this other part of the shop, which then turned into a house. And so I remembered last night this part, what looked like a house. And I sat down on this like couch, and I just fell asleep. And a lot of people walked in and woke me up. They says, "Oh, you can't sleep here." And I says, "Oh, sorry, what's happening here?" Like, yeah, you can't sleep here. Like, and I wouldn't sleep here because he used to come into the shop, and I'm like, who's coming into the shop? And this other person said to me, they think he's the devil. And I'm like, what? So a person came, this is another bit I remembered from after last night. This character appeared in the shop, and he had like a long top hat, a big long beard, and he had kind of reddish greenish eyes. I wasn't quite sure what color they were, and he was just walking around. And I felt a kind of a unease when that particular thing was walking around. What was the weird thing about this was those guys saying, "Oh, they think he's the devil," and it didn't make any sense. And then I left the kind of area that looked like a house, and I ended up kind of walking back, and then I seen that girl again, and we had another conversation, and it was really vivid and incredible. It felt great to talk to her. But then when I woke up, I felt like something was missing from me. Something was gone, and I don't know what it was. And that brings me to when I was saying earlier about like we are spiritual beings or light beings. So I think that she was an alternative version of me in another reality. And that's what kind of had me, and still to this, even I think that now, I still kind of wish I knew more about it. But that was like, do I know more about me? And no, that doesn't mean I'm going to go to the local doctors and get some weird pills and shit and change my gender, because I
Yeah.
know what I was born as, and that's what I'm going to stay as till I die. That's the way
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah. We've talked about this before, especially like when we talked about Nyx and the primal
Hmm.
egg and the soup that like everything it was well in the womb um embryos are female before they're male. And we can
Hmm.
times. So we know like female becomes before male. Like you cannot have like anybody without having like the female energy. So
Hmm.
I always think of it as two yin and yang. It's a duality, the sun and the moon, female and male, and a lot of like I would say anybody who's confused at like if they think they're in the wrong body or anything like that,
Hmm.
it is not as complex as people are making it. It's as simple as you could have been the opposite sex
Hmm.
or the sex that you want to be in this life, in a past life, or you have been of the opposite sex in more reincarnations. So I believe like free will and everything. So whenever we come in here, we sign a contract. So no matter what, you're never in the wrong body. I believe, um, you know, free will and everything. If you want to choose to change your body chemistry, which I just wouldn't do that. Go ahead, change looks and everything, but don't mess with your body chemistry. Because if you feel already that energy enough, if you feel feminine enough to want to change to be feminine, then then just be just you don't have to take anything like that because you can just like there are men who are more feminine than me.
That's true.
'Cause I carry a more masculine energy than most girls, and just like you said last night, like you have feminine, your feminine qualities about you, like um, so yeah, I feel like that's interesting. And then whenever we tied that into how that dream I had meeting that Arcturus, I mean, because I looked it up, the shadow and the cape tall figure, I wholeheartedly believe that that was me, and no one can tell me anything different. Like people try to say no because it would be impossible to meet yourself because you would fracture time and space. But from what I'm understanding, like uh, you can definitely meet yourself, alternate versions of yourselves, and there can be alters of you, um, of course, in different realities, but also lying dormant in you that can be activated or
Yeah.
like maybe in that dream could have been finding like unlocking because you don't dream a lot, so it's weird like now that you're dreaming more and for you to have be having these dreams is really significant. So like I would, yeah, they definitely all of them seem like they have a
They
deep,
have meaning.
yeah, a deep meaning behind it.
Yeah, because it was a weird, it was such a strange. It was like you saying with the Arcturian when you had them that you felt you were that being, and then you may very well have been in an alternative. And this could be parallel to now. This could be in the now because in that dream it was modern. It was modern day. It wasn't old. It was literally as if it was modern day, but it
Mhm.
also looked a little bit more futuristic.
Yeah, and then
And I re
that's how the astral realm works too. Like with like explained to of like how the dream world happens. Like how shit can change. It's like
mm,
of an AI generation. Have you ever seen AI generate a video? And it's
oh
maybe
yeah.
trying to like put all like things together, and it'll like make whole pictures. But when you change it, it'll like form something else because it sees something else in that. Like,
Yeah, it still can't really do videos correct, and even images AI can't do images correct. You can put in as much detail. And I know because I've been messing with AI. I've
mm,
been trying to put in as much details as possible to get an image I physically wanted, but it still makes mistakes, and you could be so precise
yeah,
that it still makes mistakes. So it's like the same with these weird videos I see as well that have been made in AI. A lot of them are hilarious, but you can also see that there's some parts that are just incorrect,
mm,
like facial expressions and stuff like that. It doesn't match with what's happening. So
yeah.
that's what's weird about that one.
Well, they had Google Dreaming, and this was back whenever I lived at my old house. So I remember Google started a dream machine, and it was just like they allowed Google to dream, and you could tap into it and look at it. So like you could think of it similarly to the astral realm, just like that. How everything is more
It
that everything, well, like science, time is not linear, so everything's happening at once. So like your past lives and your future lives are actually, I mean, they're all happening right now. There's just a reason that your consciousness is focused in on this point.
Yeah, there is. There's interesting about the male and female aspect. In Hindu, there is a god called Shiva.
Mm,
And the weird thing with Shiva is sometimes portrayed as a man and sometimes portrayed as a woman.
yep.
So Shiva is both, can switch between genders, and that's like the Hindu religion is the most interesting because I think it seems to be the most, like, if anything, the most accurate to history.
Yeah, it's the Mahabharata is crazy, the epic, and all of that. Like,
Yeah.
I've ever seen the fights of the war. They had manas, those flying machines, and
Hmm.
they had I mean, what they described, the weapons, things that would happen when people were hit by these weapons sounded like radiation. So they were very tech, and they were in the sky too. Definitely a technological race, and now they just like smack myth on it, or they just call it an epic. Like, cause yeah, that I'm sure. So it would,
It's definitely the most interesting, and the Shiva one is just an example. That's an example of that he or she switched between depending on the
mm,
moment. Now, I don't know if that was instantaneous. Could have been in one life she was male and one life she was a female. But it's portrayed as there was an actually I read a Substack on it, which was saying the woman was made from Adam's rib, so the woman was part of Adam. So that would technically mean that Adam and Eve were the same thing. That's a bit of a mind blowing one if you really think about it.
yeah,
Because if he took a rib and created her, then they were technically the same person.
yeah. And if you
Be
think
that as it.
an atom, you know,
Yeah,
there's a reason for that. Atoms splitting.
yeah. So that was a weird little dream, and I don't know what the devil thing was about. I've never no idea what that was about. That was in there, and it was interesting. It was short and sweet, and like even still now, I think I really wish I knew more about her, or I need to know more about me, which is like, oh,
Yeah, that's the thing.
mind blowing.
Yeah.
You You were saying you had a dream that I kind of found, to me it sounded creepy because of the TVs and the eyes. So do you want to go through that one?
Okay. Yeah. It was not creepy to me. I understand, like, from people's viewpoint if I was telling anybody, because I told one other person this and they thought it was really creepy. But before I get to the dream, I have to get to an experience that I had at my house. And I talk about this experience like on one of our podcasts on Spotify. It's before we started videos. I cannot tell you
Hmm.
one, but I had this instance where, if anybody watching knows of narcissistic personality disorder, and I actually think that some of these mental disorders, or especially that, can be different things because the way people act who have this disorder is very specific, and they talk about like their eyes turning black and stuff like that. I'm not saying my mom is a narcissist, but she is heavily in her narcissistic traits. Like, you have to really, really be diagnosed as a narcissist. But like, I know she's not, but she has traits and everything. So we got into this argument, and everything like with me and her was leading up to just me being confused, and she just was not being honest with me. And there was this moment where I was downstairs with her, and I confronted her about something, and I knew I had like the proof. Um, we have like she had cameras in the house, so I threatened bringing those up. And like I was so sure, but in the past, like, narcissists, they'll gaslight you and they'll literally do something or say something and then like act like they didn't, or make you think that you're crazy and stuff like that.
Hmm.
So stuff that would really happen. A lot of manipulation, but she tried pulling something, and this was at my breaking point whenever I was moving out of my, I was on the, like, I was moving out of my house to this new apartment. And I said something to her, um, and I called her out, and I saw a switch in her body, a smirk, and I could tell that she almost got happy or almost high off of thinking that she was getting over on me. But I was so sure. And my mom's scary, you know. But something came over me to make me feel like I could not let this slip, no matter if no one else ever like was with us, and no one else would ever like see this and stuff. I had to let her know personally, like, I see you. So like as like I'm really hyped, and she's trying to be avoidant, you know, starts a thing and then avoids it, and then she's trying to go into the room, and I'm coming after her, like I'm walking after my mom, like yelling and stuff like that. And then whenever I caught the little like moment, like where it felt like it wasn't her, I caught her in a lie, and I just even like not consciously either. I just lifted my finger and I just pointed at her. And I did it for a really long time. Like, and she even said, like, get your fucking finger, you know, like stop pointing at me. But I could not help it because I was just like, I like you're out, and this is what like. It's so funny to think, but it's not at all because of like of me thinking everything is I'm wrong about everything. I was just like, you are a liar. You're lying to me, mom. And like I had to let her know, and the pointing was very kind of felt like calling a demon out.
Mm.
And I think narcissistic, like there could be like entities, like I said, but so yes, I made sure she knew it didn't matter if anybody was around, but she knew that I knew the game she was playing. Like does not matter if anybody else didn't know. Like I caught you into something, and I'm not gonna let it slide. And I felt like the pointing was really calling out you know the habits and whatever. Like you know she could not.
Yeah.
So then we'll fast forward. This was even like 2 weeks or something after this event with my mom. I had a dream of a bunch of TVs. What did you say? Like a bunch of RTV? What are they called?
CRT TVs, CRT.
Yeah, if you've ever watched it also, you know, a robot chicken, or in the beginning where he's watching all of those screens, it was kind of like that. They were glitchy, it was trippy, and I don't know if I was in a room or a hallway, but I was walking and it was long. And there was just an eye on the TV. It wasn't like a human eye. It was a cartoony eye. It was actually like cute, like something like I could probably duplicate the picture in Pixar, like
Oh, okay.
you know, with the glitch in the eye and everything. And I don't like remember much detail about the like. There's just nobody else but me, but I lifted my finger again in this dream and I pointed at this eye, and I don't remember saying anything, but like it was the eyes, they were everywhere, so like its eyeballs were following me. And then whenever I did like I you know pointed to it,
Mhm.
you know, like it looked straight, it like it knew that I was
They reacted.
knowing it. Like you know, it looked like it kind of seemed like a Big Brother moment in the movie, and it felt really exhilarating actually. Like I know that's probably creepy to some people, but it just like with my mom, I felt like if something was trying to infiltrate my dream in some kind of way, like I don't know if it was maybe protection, something. If anybody's ever watched Inception, the movie, and how people,
Good movie.
yeah, the, like they can have protection blocks like in their mind and stuff to block people from getting information. It's crazy and stuff, but
That was such a great movie.
yeah, it's such a great movie. But Yeah, so that was that with that dream. Um, what? Why do you think like what's creepy about that?
I don't know. To me, it just I I like to hide the face when I'm on camera. I don't hide it when I stream, but on this I do. And to me, just stuff like TVs with like just eyes all over would kind of just creep me out. It just kind of
Mm,
I I don't know. It just it would creep me out. That like there's nothing is sacred,
yeah.
and that's why. And it kind of brings me back to when I was a kid. I had this really horrible dream where I fell down this hole, and on the in the hole there was just hundreds of hands just grabbing me, but some of the hands were decaying like dead hands and had maggots on it. It was horrible. That was just multiple hands and multiple eyes, kind of a bit of a freakish kind of
Yeah, I feel
freaky thing.
with multiple eyes, but yeah, it was creepy, especially because in the dream I was lucid. Because like I explained, tried to explain last night in the dream. Whenever I decided to point at it, I thought in the dream about the moment I pointed at my mom because
Yeah.
I wanted to have it the same effect. Like I know you're here. Like I can,
Mhm.
you know, you're not getting past me because like a TV can have anything on it. You know, it could
Yeah, that's true.
look like if it's off and not be off, but the pictures is black. So like even
Hmm.
that, thinking about like some like you don't even know. People do say like some TVs do have cameras, and I won't get all into that, but it is like that Big Brother sense, and like you watching the TV and the TV constantly watching
It's
you.
watching you. Yeah, it is bizarre. But like even now today, like I'm here looking at a camera. So there's people now watching me from this
Mm-hmm.
little camera lens. Just on a quick one, can you just check that what time it says on your recording?
Um, where do I see that at?
It is still recording though, isn't it? It is on my end, but it looked like it missed a part of my start
Yeah, no,
on my side.
it
But if you have the recording,
says recording to me.
that's fine. No, I'll leave it because you might have to send me that file, because I think it missed the first part, not your conversation, but my conversation.
That's fine.
But like, if your one is doing it, so that was just a backup. Because last night anyone out there said last night we had issues where the record didn't work at all. It's as if someone is trying to stop us from doing it. But we have it recording on both. So if the first part, if you've watched it and you missed the first part, if you want to find out about that dream, I have it on a Substack. So I mean, people can look at it there, and that's not just a little promotion for that. There's just call me Ray on Substack. But anyway, back to that. So yeah, that was quite of a creepy kind of yeah. I don't know what to say
Oh,
with that, but
that other dream I had. And I like, of course, because I believe we live in a fractal holographic universe. Like it is very like a simulation. I like to compare it to video games a lot. And
hmm,
I had, and I love whenever I have action filled dope dreams. So, you know how you just like end up in a dream like spontaneously, like I'm running down this hallway. It was like the surrounding was like a Skyrim dungeon, you know,
hmm,
like it was stone, and then you can see the rubble in the corner, and like you could turn like have turns and everything. But anyway, something was chasing me. And whenever I like, and I just felt that, of course, like the adrenaline, because like I just like came in the stream running, and I look behind me, and there's this very tall black figure. Like I can explain what he looked like. If you've ever watched The Princess and the Frog, the Hoodoo Man on there
oh okay,
has like the tall top hat, and he's very slender, and like he sort of has that nice like cape thing, but like he was very tall, and like it was just a whole black figure. It was
like Baron Samedi.
yeah, it was just all dark. But the thing is like sometimes in dreams like you feel afraid and everything. Like I was not afraid for some reason. I just knew like I needed to like him not to be able to catch up to me. So I'm still running, and then I run past this group of people where there are like six soldiers, five soldiers standing there, and like I could kind of had different views of me running and then me looking back at him to see what he was doing, or I could just like vision see what he was doing. And there was this one where like he got to those people, and he didn't have a knife or anything. He just went with just like his hand, and all of their heads got cut off. And I was like, holy fuck, dude. Like he's like, and I already like it. I was like, okay, he's strong. Like,
Hmm.
so then I just kept running, and I don't know who it was. It was something, I don't know if it was a person or what, but somebody like, or I sent something from the corner, someone say, hey, and all of a sudden these two blades are thrown in front of me, and they were like the chains of chaos. I swear to God, off of God of War. So like there were just these two blades, and as soon as I saw them, like I wasn't scared. Like I said, I was like kind of nervous because I didn't want the dude to catch up to me. But like as soon as I seen those blades, I was like, oh, it's on. And I just grabbed, like I picked them up. I remember like turning around and just, and then like the dream. I got so excited in the dream, and it was so because like it was exhilarating to like I don't know, and I'm good at video games too. So like if you play things where you fight people like that, I mean it's not always easy, especially like if you're playing like Dark Souls or something like that. You win a fucking
Yeah, I was
oh and
really bad at those games.
yeah. But that dream was cool. And what's interesting is I was definitely a male in that dream, but I don't know if I was creative or not. I, but I know that I did not have a shirt on, and I was like white.
Hmm.
Black. I was like more of a tan white.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was pretty dope.
Yeah, that sounds pretty cool. I've never had, well, no, I did have one you reminded me of. Now, this isn't one I talked about yet, but like the subject tonight is dreams. So I did have this one dream where I was, where was I? It was like ancient old Romania. So already people probably have an idea where this is going. So it was like an ancient old kind of Romania, and there was castles, and it was like there's horses with wooden carts and stuff like that. So I can just recall I was walking down there, and I was a male, wasn't a female in this one, and I was just kind of in a normal kind of, well, I would say I'd call it Victorian clothes
Mm.
would be the closest thing to it, and I think I had like like a dagger, what people call this is actually a funny one. It's the dagger I had is what's called a bollock dagger. And the reason it's called a bollock dagger, right? This is an old dagger. The on the dagger, it's actually got this is explicit on the dagger. So there's a knife part, and then there's the part where the dagger connects, which was basically a set of balls,
Okay.
and it's called a bollock dagger. And the
Mm.
reason it's called a bollock dagger is back in like medieval times when around you'd hide and you'd have this dagger, and the only weak part of the man's armor was the groin area, and that's what that dagger was for. So
Yeah.
no one really knows did the design come after or before that they knew that was for. But anyway, that's the kind of dagger I had anyway. So that was that. And I was walking through this kind of place at night, and this is like very kind of eerie, kind of creepy kind of thing. And then as I was walking, there was no one there. Everyone seemed to be gone. And then I felt something bite me on my back, and I started bleeding, and I turned around, and it was a bat. So I got bitten by a bat in this dream. Then as I was moving closer, I felt a bit like sick, and then all of a sudden I I actually became a fucking vampire because of the bat.
That's
And then I was walking to this castle, but I never got to the castle, and I woke up, and that was the end of the dream. I'm like, what the hell?
that's dope as shit.
Yeah, I don't even know what happened. It was just like it was so short, and that's what I remember from a while. It's like I would have liked him to be able to get into that castle, and I didn't get. And I don't even know what the deal was with the dagger. Was I going to kill something, or I don't even know because it ended as quick as it was after the bite, and I felt it, and then nothing,
Yeah.
and then walking to the castle, then it stopped.
Mm.
Not like your dream where you're kind of fighting. This is literally I didn't make it to the castle, and it was over. There was
Mm.
nothing else. And then yeah, it was only a short one, but like it was a strange little one nonetheless. But that brings me on to another thing. So a long time ago, when I lived in my old house, I astral traveled for the first time, or the first time I can remember. And that night, basically, I was lying in the bed, and I'd read about astral travel, and I really wanted to know if I could actually do this, if I could do this. So for that most of that night, I was like telling myself, I'm gonna astral travel, I'm gonna astral travel, I'm gonna astral travel, I'm gonna astral travel. When I went to sleep, I did. I was well. I went to sleep, and I could feel my body leave whatever it was, my source or soul, leave my body and go through the roof of the house. And it went up through the roof, and it went around the corner. And I think we said this one last night. It went around this corner, and there was what I can call it was kind of a moonlight and dark, so there was a little bit of light from the moon, and I was flying around this corner that I wouldn't usually go to. And in looking down in this garden, there was a maple leaf. I think I said this like it was like the maple leaf is the same leaf as what's on the Canadian flag. And this maple leaf was kind of gold and kind of it was autumn, so it was kind of dying. And then when I got to the maple leaf, it kind of straight away went back and woke up, and I was like, I have no idea what that meant. So on the 24th of September is when I was lying in the bed again, and I was thinking, now this is recent. I was thinking I really would like to astral travel again to have that experience. When I had that experience, I think I was like 18 or something like that. So it was a long, long time ago. But before I got to this dream, the next morning I woke up, I brought our dog around the corner just out of curiosity to see. And I walked up, I think I said the house might have been six or something like that, number six, but I'm not entirely sure. And I
Mm.
looked in the garden, and in that garden was an actual single maple leaf. But I can't recall if there was maple trees around there. So that was just kind of verification that when I astral traveled, or you said something like remote viewing. I don't know if they're similar, I guess.
They are kind of similar, but people remove you like just sitting there, even with their eyes like in their writing stuff. And yours was more of definitely an astral travel, and it's
Hmm.
your astral body that leaves your body. Your physical body is left there, but yeah, like your soul. And then people talk about that silver cord that's tied to you that snaps you back. So
Yeah, the silver cord.
and that just goes to show you that our bodies um the brain doesn't the consciousness is going through the brain. The brain
Mm.
is not making consciousness is going through, like, we don't need our physical bodies, you know um,
Yeah,
if you're able.
that's what. Yeah, that's what. But that was. I still to this day, I still don't know the significance of that. I've no idea. I'm not sure what if it had any meaning or significance. If anything, the only thing it would have given me was proof that astral travel of what I experienced. Astral travel is a real thing, and if you can do it, that's incredible. But like I say, on the some only like a couple of weeks ago, the 24th of September this year, I was like saying I was lying in my bed, and I usually don't talk a lot about my dreams online, but I have done it on the Substack, so this is on there as well. But this one, because I was in the bed, and I was like, I really would like to astral travel again, astral travel. And I tried the same method that I did for the last time I did, and it just I didn't astral travel in this particular dream, but it was a very interesting dream nonetheless. So it started off. This one is a weird one. I'd call this a shifting dream. It's probably the only option I can give it.
Yeah, dream jumping.
Dream jumping, and so much happened in this. So I found myself basically on this huge ship. I think they said it was like a Titanic type ship. It was huge and it was just sailing straight. And to the left of this ship there was the ocean was higher than the ocean we were in. It was like still, but it was above. It was so much. It was like a wall of ocean. And the ship was going. I'm not sure where it was actually going. It was going, and there was a lot of people on the ship, and they were all. No one seemed to be too concerned about this big ocean wall on the left. But I was getting really paranoid and freaked out. I was thinking, oh my God, if this ship turns into that, we're all gonna die. We're all gonna die. So that was thinking that for that first part of the trip. That I don't know what that was about. That was kind of like the ocean was a wall and there was another ocean. So a lower ocean and a higher ocean, but they didn't interact with each other.
Yeah,
But it was physically there.
yeah.
And that was
If you've ever seen like it's where the two oceans meet, but
Mhm.
they don't mix because of their densities. You know, you can see one's like blue and one's cloudy. If you just picture like water up,
Yeah, it was quite a terrifying thing to see. Like
and I,
it
what I did want to say, like something you have to realize in your dreams. It's usually moments whenever you see something's off, and that's where it triggers like you to be almost lucid and to be able to start remembering. So that first,
mm,
oh, what the fuck is this ocean?
yeah,
And then go ahead.
yeah, it was creepy. And then so we were on the ship, and then the next part of the stream, it just I just kind of shifted. And we were now in this kind of Victorian house. Me and all these people, I think most of them were from the ship.
Stuff.
I know it's crazy. There must be something links to it. So this is weird. The Victorians. So yeah, Victorian. Yeah. It is so weird because there's the other dream had Victorian stuff aspects of it as well. So yeah, we were in this Victorian house, and I can remember the weird thing is the people that were on the ship and in the house, they were the same people, but I couldn't see their faces. It was like a blur, but I knew they were there, and we were just standing in there, and we were just looking at this what looked like an old-fashioned radio, but it wasn't just. It looked like an old-fashioned radio, but it had a screen on it, like a television set, and we were watching this TV show, a cartoon TV show, which they were like it was like a kids looking cartoon, but they were like vampires in it. And we were watching that, and I then turned to the captain because I then turned. I think the guy was the captain. I said, where's the ship docked? And this he just said, oh, it's docked somewhere. He didn't seem bothered about the ship not being there. He said, oh, it's just docked somewhere. So then all of a sudden, after I talked to him, it shifted again. This is the third time it shifted, and we were standing in this kind of grassy area. But it looked like grass, but it felt like water. And we were just walking on it, and I could feel it was water. It just felt a bit. I felt insecure on that kind of watery whatever it was, but it looked like grass, but it was water. And then all of a sudden we shifted back into the Victorian house, but we were in the Victorian house. We were now inside the television as the cartoon characters, which were little cartoon vampires, and all of us were in there as these little cartoon vampires. And we had this bear that we put together. It was green and it had a green patch over its eyes that we stitched it back together, and it was saying something, but we couldn't understand what it was saying. And then it shifted again, and this is the fourth time it shifted now at this stage, of fourth or fifth. It shifted again, and I was in this kind of old, kind of medieval fair in a medieval time, and we're walking around, and I spotted this lady selling shields. And the thing that really it intrigued me how she had all these cool shields and stuff like that, had all these designs. And I said, I like, I'll have one of those shields. And the one she gave me, it was red, black, and orange, and on it it had these snakes which had two heads. But also with the shield, she gave me these two charms. One was a scroll, and one was a little kind of bottle of like a weird colored liquid. And she says, "Oh, they go with the shield." But when I say charms, they were like little things you'd put on a phone, like a little charm, but they were actually a scroll and a bottle of a potion of some sort.
Or like on
And I
Call of Duty,
remember,
the charms you
hmm?
put on guns. Like on Call of Duty, the charms you put on your gun.
Yeah, yeah, it was like that, but it was on a shield. but it was actual scroll, which probably had writing on it, which was probably very important, but I don't know what it was going to say. And the weird little bottle, the potion and stuff like that. So I took them, and when I paid with, I gave her money, but it was futuristic money, which is weird because this is in a medieval time, which they wouldn't have had futuristic money. So
Mm.
then then the weird thing is, I started walking, and I guess it shifted again, and I was walking with one of my friends, and we seen this diner, but the thing was, the diner was so out of place because it was in a Victorian world, but yet this diner was like a modern, like 2024 diner, and me and one of my friends went in there, and he or she, I don't know if it was he or she, it was another person. They went in and they bought these two cakes, but the two cakes were like on fire, and they were walking with me back to this apartment. And we went back to this apartment, and they still had the cakes that were on fire. And then we looked again, and there was a TV there, which was playing the same vampire cartoon. And then I woke up. That was, and that was
Say the
just
cake
this.
inside the TV then or something?
Sorry?
Didn't you say like weren't the cakes like inside the TV or something the last time or something like that?
No, they just walked with me to back to this apartment, and the cakes were flaming. And then there was a TV, and the TV was
Oh, and the
showing
TV was playing. Oh, okay, so it was
the
like,
same the same little vampire cartoon.
but
So but
it's funny because like, oh, I wonder if the first place that you were when you were sitting there and like you asked the captain or whatever, where's the boat? Was that like the same place or was it a whole?
no,
It
it
was,
was this
and
this
it,
apartment was like this is what was weird about it. The apartment was like a modern one as well. So there was the modern diner, and the apartment was modern, but the television in that apartment was still that old weird radio TV,
mhm.
which I'd seen. Maybe the significant thing of that whole story was the TV, and I have no idea what it was. It was a radio, but it was a TV. It was like it just didn't make sense because it looked more like a radio, but it had a screen, so it was just bizarre and such a strange one.
Yeah,
In saying that, like it was just a weird world.
yeah, that's
And
a thing to have.
I I actually have an image that was generated by AI. If I can share it, it's really weird if it lets me. Oh, okay. It says you don't allow sharing. I don't know how that works. Never mind.
Well, because I don't want to mess up anything by clicking.
Oh yeah, no, that's okay. No, don't click on it. No, I can show you again. It's really cool. That's also on the Substack if anyone wants to. I know I keep promoting that, but it's the image in the. So basically, I'll describe one of the images that AI drew. So I kind of typed into AI the closest thing I could think of to that dream. So the image basically it shows the ocean, and it shows a ship on the ocean, but it's such a weird image because on the ocean it's showing a ship on top of the ocean, but it's also showing that weird wall ocean, but the ship is actually on the higher part of the water and not the lower part of the water. But the weirdest thing about this image, what I told it to put in, it done its own little thing. It put this woman in it, right? With this weird kind of her head looks like it's you'd have to see it. It's so bizarre. Her head looks like it's I don't know, what's that stuff? Oh, her head is just it's so fucking trippy and weird. And she's got a white face, like a very pale white face and red lipstick.
Ask
Yeah, this is one
great.
it's hmm?
Did you ask it to generate people?
No. This I didn't I asked it to generate a ship in the sea, it going towards this Victorian house where the sea part of the sea was higher than the other part.
So in the image, just it like collaborated
It
girl somewhere in there with it.
it made its own. It's such a. I had to put it up. This is on the Substack. It's such a weird image.
Mm,
There's actually a few. It has a few weird images in it. Like you'd have to see them because they're really hard to explain because they weren't what I described. It made its own version,
mm,
and but they are really cool images. I mean, there's another image, right? when I was talking about the ocean, the two types of oceans, it shows in that image, it shows what looks like it's the same kind of, there's something weird about these images that they're all very similar. But there's another part where the sea is like, it has this woman again who has an egg-shaped head. This is weird. And she just has red lipstick, no eyes, and she's just like that. And she's basically lying in the sea, and the two walls of the sea are there, which this is not what I described, but
Oh,
you'd have
yeah,
to see there's
I,
such weird images.
yeah, I'll definitely look at that because that's especially if you did not ask it to generate for something to show up like that. It's
Yeah, and
not like
they're
you're
cool.
to an AI and having it generate over an image where like it could like make a like that back there could turn to like a person standing, like
Oh, the images are just fascinating. It's they're on my Substack, and the topic is my alternate dream, and you'll just see the images there. You don't even have to read the thing. The images are just so unusual, and there's something I don't know. They all have a weird look about me. They're just crazy, 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 and they're brilliant. They look incredible. But I don't even know where it got the idea from because I inputted as much details as I could of what I experienced, and it made its own version. And you just have to see them. They're nuts. They're crazy. So they really are. What is the next one I was going? What else was I going to discuss it with? There was something else I wanted to talk about. What else did we touch on?
probably like hopefully do another podcast much sooner. Um,
Hmm.
this one was like last night's was so not that this one isn't good, but when you flow for the first time, it's
Yeah.
so like kind of, it felt like more this one was a little bit rehearsed. We were just trying to remember what we already talked about.
Yeah, there's new things in this one than the other one though as well because I didn't just talk about those images,
Hmm.
which it was there another thing. And do you know what I didn't mention? I didn't mention Lilith. So I'm gonna mention that now. So I, what brings you to Lilith first off? I think I discussed last night that I felt presence with Nyx, Hecate, which I said is the goddess of witchcraft, and she's the triple goddess. She's the one where you notice the moon and it's got the two crescents. The most common, it's a circle and there's two crescents. Well, that's her symbol. So I'm sure you've seen that around. So Hecate is the goddess of witchcraft, also Greek god. Actually, they're all Greek gods except for Lilith. Lilith is another one that was kind of portrayed as being bad. But like, what I wanted to say, like, the Lilith was an interesting one because I got really into Lilith after, weird enough, playing Diablo 4, where they demonized her, which is it's a very good game, but they demonized her and she was really cool looking demon.
You say
But
demonized like Lilith today, like especially whenever we talk about in tarot, like people will describe girls who are envious,
mhm,
mad at the fact that they can't get a man, so they'll call them Lilith, or women who prey on men and use sex, as a tool.
yeah,
They'll call them Jezebels, but actually Lilith, the whole story was she was made for her and Adam first before Eve. She was before Eve, but she was like, I'm not doing what y'all want me to do. So like she pretty much stood against the whole I'm not like laying down and doing this whole fucking play thing that y'all want to do. And they demonized her and switched the story and made it seem like she was a jealous girl mad at Adam for choosing Eve. And I guess that's not even
there's
true.
it there's even some parts are saying that they're saying Lilith was the snake who tempted Eve, which is another one. But like the
That'd
truth is,
be so
there.
interesting because a woman helping, like she knew that Eve, she could help her.
Hmm.
Well, all of them, by giving them knowledge. But yeah, the whole serpents and thing, just like you said, how you had the saw those two snakes. I don't find them to
Yeah.
be like demonic or evil. I actually really like snakes, and I don't know the like symbolism behind them like too,
Mhm.
except like I see them. They're like everywhere. I'm just looking right now, and I was about to say this, but I'll put
But on meditation,
my little.
there. Oh, that's cool.
They all have these are snakes on top of the thing, and
The crown, but even in even the symbol on medication, there's two snakes wrapped around something.
yeah, and that's the same. If I could find it on the tarot deck, that's the same thing as the lovers. It has that medical thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I find it like quickly, I'll show it. But yeah, the lovers in the tarot deck has that symbolism is really crazy. It's
Mhm.
like I mean because like what lasts the longest and stuff, symbols or especially what you make the symbols in. That's why
Mhm.
they had like tablets. They would impress things in tablets. Well,
Yeah, it's the same symbol.
yeah.
It's the same. It is the same symbol, but like the snake is also classed as healing. And I'm not entirely sure. I'll probably do a bit of research as to why the snake is in a lot of symbolization. Like snakes are in a lot of ancient Egyptian, particularly. There's a lot of snake symbols,
Oh
which
yeah.
is really interesting.
Yeah, and then of course they demonize it now. Snakes are, and like that's one thing people are
Oh
so,
yeah.
or like they think like, but yeah, I think there's something different. Um, I don't.
But
I saved the snake before. Stupid. Like I don't even know. I wasn't thinking at all. Um, I was just at my ex boyfriend's house at the time, and his
mhm.
dad was a real country boy, and
Uh-huh.
black snake in the fucking the garage, and he was like, I'm going to get the axe. I'm going to get the axe." And I'm just like so confused. Like it was like a long, it was a big fatty snake, but I was just like, no, I'm not gonna let you fucking kill the snake. You can get it out. And like everybody's so confused, and I just thought of Steve Irwin, like I was
Oh yeah, good man.
Irwin do. So like of course, I couldn't know all where it could see, but I know it was like scared and nervous. Like everybody was standing around, and it was trying to.
Mhm.
It was long too, so I was like, just give me a sheet, and they gave me a sheet, so I just like braced myself,
Whoa.
and I like watched where its neck was gonna be, and I threw the sheet on it, and then I just fucking grabbed like I
Jeez.
so tight. And I know I don't even know what I was thinking, dude. I could have got bit, but
We don't even know if it's venomous.
instinct. But I like grabbed it, and it was the most. I have pictures of it. I was crying afterwards because then we went outside, and this snake was so fucking beautiful. Like I was looking at this thing in the eyes, and its
Mhm.
fangs, and it was hissing. I could see its tongue, and then I was like moving it in the sunlight, and it was a black, but its scales were like holographic rainbow.
Oh yeah, that's
And
cool.
then I just started crying. I was like, "This is like the most beautiful thing." And then his dad just like, "Oh, good, didn't fucking kill it." And I'm just like, "Dude, like, you don't gotta always be like that." Like, I don't even know. I'm so happy. Like, I did that. I probably got
Yeah, that was
good on some of this the snake entity sides. Save it work.
yeah,
Just
that's crazy.
mhm.
It's hard to say which ones are poisonous as well.
Yeah, it was a black snake, and I don't know if it was one of those. They say black snakes that are so poisonous. I don't know if it was one of them, but it really
Yeah.
been. My mom's like, "You're stupid for doing that," but I honestly don't think it was too stupid, and especially the way I did it. Like maybe I could have fucked it, but I.
Yeah.
And then I remember it was strong, and it tried to start like
Rapping. Oh
rap
God.
like motherfucker. Like I was like taking pictures. I was like, I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to throw, bro. I'm launching you. I'm launching you. So I just went,
Oh yeah, you're brave.
and it went to the bushes. But as soon as it hit the bushes, it came back out at me. but didn't come too far, and I just looked at it and like walked away like, damn, my duty's done. Like that was really cool.
Yeah, that was really cool. Like, oh, that was really cool. It's I'm very brave. Oh my God.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the thing. I was not thinking be brave or anything. I was really mad that he wanted to fucking kill it, and you when we
Mhm.
easily just removed it. And I mean, yeah, not even having to use that, but of course the blanket that was amazing. Like what I did, it was all like,
Yeah. No, that's cool. And from that snake subject, it actually brings us back to Lilith, which is really that was really good story. Um, so why Lilith? So well, I personally chose well more so I asked her for something and she kind of made it happen. So that's what kind of got me more interested in the aspect of her. Now we know she's mentioned in she's been demonized by the church. We know this anyway, and she was mentioned in the Bible in Isaiah 34:14. There we go. I have some knowledge on that. 34:14. If you want to know about Lilith, she's in there. So that was kind of that's the only kind of time she's discussed. But then I got really interested in the her and that help that I got. So then I was looking for a particular tarot card deck. I wanted a deck that was specifically for her. But what was weird, the deck I wanted, I couldn't get in Ireland. And another deck appeared, and I've talked about this deck before. It's this actual deck here, which I really like. That deck there, and that's the deck I really like. And that this is
I'm just like, what until like I actually know for sure, but it didn't say he was on suicide watch, and I was like, oh yeah, of course they would say that. But yes, I do believe that. Well, first of all, Jaguar, right? She's been out there talking about everything,
yeah, she has been.
sharing her shit like 3 years ago, telling people about like Diddy, because I'm big on the industry, the demonic, the cult, the rituals and stuff.
Mhm,
He was a part of all that, like his black and white parties, and like I know people like like they were discussing like people like Oprah, um, a bunch of those pedophiles that are up there
mhm.
list that are on Epstein's list. And speaking of that, like even the whole subject surrounding this is that they have documentation of um possibly children, men and women
Mhm.
doing things that are illegal, and they're not doing anything with it. I'm so tired of this justice system. Why hasn't Epstein list been? Why was it
Yeah, that's
in the
true.
first place? That's my like if we caught $1 billion child sex trafficking ring,
Hmm.
one person was named, and that was Ghislaine Maxwell. And I don't even know where that bitch is. Like I wish they had a surveillance thing that I
Hmm.
could see if she was actually in prison, because you don't even know. Like she could just be another like scapegoat too, just like Epstein was. Like they killed him for like whatever reason, but
Yeah,
is getting it's getting really really deep. And I do think I thought it was going to be a little bit like hard getting information out, but what I'm seeing is people telling on each other. I think the industry is going to eat itself from the inside because of all the dark and all the things that people all just have stuff on each other.
hmm,
They're all going to be telling on each other, and then things about them will be told. So it's crumbling. It's really crumbling. I know Atlantic Records has fucking fired so many of their artists. So I'm telling a lot of people now, like the music industry and stuff right now, it's not it hasn't been looking good in my eyes, for a long time, especially because I know, like, I'm really, really stern about Aaliyah. I grew up.
I actually yeah that was I remember her from what was it? One of those vampire movies. I can't remember what it was called. Oh, Queen of the Damned.
Yeah,
She
it,
was so good in that.
you know, must
And she had potential. She had potential, and I think he's linked to this.
she she could have been another. This is the thing. She could have been another Beyonce,
Mhm.
but she like, and this is like my theory. it's just so obvious because a lot of people have said she didn't want to get on that plane. She felt uncomfortable, so they gave
Yeah.
something to calm her down, or to
Oh, okay, I heard this.
so she was put on that plane unconsciously, even and against her will because she didn't want to get it on it in the first place. And then how come Beyonce is like I don't understand how people don't think of this, dude. Beyonce don't have no footage like talking normally. Like she's not out here, like other celebrities. I don't know. We talked about handlers before. I feel like
Uh-huh.
Jay-Z is worse than P. Diddy and what he and I don't know. I'm not gonna say Beyonce because we've talked about people channeling entities.
Yeah.
She channels Saucer Fierce, and it's fierce and scary. Like I feel like they just use her for the money and the fame, and like it's so crazy because she's so popular, but she don't do nothing. She doesn't do no interviews, and I think it's just something really weird. And then her and Jay Z are always at the top of the list of the music
Hmm.
every year. And like what name Jay Z's last song? It's just really weird. I feel like there's a lot of things that are going to come out about artists trying to
Uh-huh.
take out other artists, or even destiny swap. That's a thing where
Yeah.
artists will take out another artist thinking that they'll reap all the rewards that the other person was going to, but you can't take somebody's energy. Like people look at somebody and they'll want to kill them, and they'll
Hmm.
take their spot. But the thing is, where you could never take your spot, take my spot, because I have an energetic frequency. Like
Yeah.
you're a fragmented version of me. You could never be me, no matter how hard you would try. So that's why a lot of people who have destiny swapped, who have sacrificed in the industry, I feel like things are coming back to bite them in the ass. I knew Kanye fucking, and there's a video of Kanye saying they made me sacrifice my mom. When he dropped Hey Mama, he changed, and then the industry,
He did change, yeah.
these humiliation rituals. How many of these celebrities shaved their head and bleached it? Just think about that period.
Yeah. It's crazy. There's
Miley Cyrus, Justin Bieber, uh, uh, so many of those artists have had that mental break stage where everybody just wants to conquer. You know what I mean? It's all
mhm.
for that humiliation rituals, and like they get things on you, and of course, like I don't know, it could be so much deeper than I could even imagine too. But I just know it's not right, and I'm one of those people. I don't fuck around, and I've been like people are just now even starting to comprehend this, and I'm kind of mad, and I blame it on the people a lot because I remember sitting. Well, how old was I? Like, like 13 years old.
Mhm.
On to the next one. I don't know. It was when the song by Jay Z "On to the Next One" premiered, and my stepdad, the same one who had me sit down and watch Phil Schneider and
Yeah.
military bases and aliens. He taught me about the Illuminati at the same time. I was really young, and he said, "I just want you to sit here and watch this music video of Jay Z's." And I mean, the fucking beat is on. It's like so dope, but the whole thing is it it just flashing demonic
Oh
crows.
yeah.
It's just black. You'd have to like watch it. Everything was he, and I was like, I don't understand this, and like he like told me more about it, and like my
Mhm.
eyes opened to the industry at that age. I was like, oh my god, they're trying to control us through music, and they're putting stuff right in front of our faces, especially in music videos, to get out of like the karma. If they put it in our faces, they think that they won't reap the fucking.
It brings me to that we talked about on the podcast. I on not on the video one, but didn't I talked about the Rain Man. Remember I told you about this the Rain Man, which is an entity they all kind of tank. I wanna dedicate this to the Rain Man, and there's a whole kind of history thing with an entity is known as the Rain Man, that it kind of helps people make it in an industry. It's like a demonic entity, and that Jay-Z has mentioned it Kanye has mentioned it. Loads of them has mentioned this particular. I want to dedicate this to the Rain Man, and even fucking the song Umbrella is like a dedication to him.
Oh, and that's not to mention, Jay-Z bought Rihanna from Barbados when she was 16
Mhm.
years old. He bought her pretty much. He brought a 16-year-old girl over. Like this is all coming out. Like we know this. Like you remember when she got beat up by Chris Brown? You know why she
Yeah,
beat up? Because she gave him herpes that she caught from Jay-Z. She was used as like,
Jesus.
they just passed that girl around. And you see her video. She was like below Beyonce,
Uh-huh.
you know, but nobody's ever above Beyonce, you know. Rihanna's
Yeah.
come out, you know, but then there's Nicki Minaj, and that, you know, you can name like some of the female artists, but I'm telling you, any of those good artists out there have already been taken out. All the good ones, Mac Miller, fucking XXX, Juice World. I mean, and then we can go back. Tupac, Biggie, all of them were taken out. Wait,
Tupac, well, Tupac and Snoop were on to didn't like Diddy anyway, and there was a whole kind of thing there
yeah, and that's crazy because
going
like
back there.
a minute ago, so that this has been going on a long time. And the thing about the is it's not run by black people. The hip the biggest hip hop organizations are not owned by black people, they're owned by white people. And I'm not saying that to be like, but I just want you to understand that
Mhm.
the whole hip hop scene is very dark and demonic, and what they like what they're pushing on people, and then who knows what frequencies they're using, like, and then they get
Yeah.
symbolism. If you watch, I don't watch music videos or none of that. I don't listen
Oh, I don't.
to music. I listen to my homies or my underground rappers. Nothing big, you know, that comes out anymore. But
Have you listened to that rapper I told you, Ren?
I'm not
He's a he's got a song very, very into he's got a song called Hi Ren. And he's a white guy, he's an English rapper, and he was in mental asylums and was on all sort of medication, stuff like that. But his songs are really, you should really look him up. His name is just Ren. And there's one song that you'd have to just watch the video. It's called Hi Ren. It's him talking to his other self.
sure.
It's such a good video. You'd have to see it. It's hard to explain, but he's a really into, and he's kind of he's like he wouldn't be a top like well he's rap rock kind of thing,
Yeah.
but he's really really good. Definitely recommend you to have a look at him.
And that's the one thing about too, the industry is and it's us seeing it now crumble, but you don't have to. People think you have to do all this crazy stuff to sell your soul. Selling
Hmm.
your soul is as simple as selling out. Selling out is doing something you wouldn't normally do in return for money, or like, you know, giving something up just for money or for views or for
Hmm.
literally digital currency. People would sign contracts just to get bots, followers, and like
Oh, 100%.
all of this is built off of illusions and stuff. And if you've ever heard of the dead internet theory, that half the people on the internet are not even real humans, it gets that gets scary
Crazy. It's
because
got like us doing this, we're not in it for like likes and views. It would be great if people did like and views, but we're here to kind of make some points, and whether you believe us or not, or you think we're both crazy, then so be it. I mean, we're just saying it as it is. I
yeah,
mean,
there's literally people out there, and I saw it. I could have been very much part of it whenever I started my Twitch career. Well, my I started doing Twitch, and I got affiliate, and there was a bunch of other girls around the time, you know, who got affiliate, and they still stream to this day. Some of them, which is amazing, but like, not to be mean or anything, they're not making good money. It's
yeah.
sad they're like stuck in these contracts, and they have to stream the same game all the time. They can't. And I that's what I was telling people. Like, once you can make up this persona, and you're putting on like this act for people, you know, you have to keep that up, or you have to keep doing what the people like fucking Kai Kent and Show Speed. Like, they do wild ass shit.
Oh, him, yeah, yeah.
and Aiden Ross. They have to switch it up, or else people would get bored or get mad that they're not doing what. So it was just like paying for a circuit and stuff like I just felt like, and I mean, I was getting kicked out of clans because of my mouth, because I didn't let like
Hmm.
leaders like talk down to me just because they're like, it's very, even in the gaming industry, especially back then when Fortnite was colliding with the music industry and they were like having concerts in Fortnite, all that music was, it has people delusional about celebrities and celebrity worship, or like I said,
Yes,
people
that.
people sell out very easily. I have friends that are signed by like people, big names, and
Mhm.
they don't hardly get no streams. Not like nothing is going on with their careers. And I believe what the music industry does is they gobble up all the potential, and then they'll just pick the one that's going to, which is not a lot of people. Like there's so many good people out there, artists that aren't like the artists that they have
And
compared to other people. I will say literally almost, because I don't really have too many favorite people.
uh
Everybody can be replaced by somebody random who isn't even involved in the industry, like rapping on the side and shit like that. Like it's crazy how just like they picked up Sexy Red, and
uh
I don't know much about, like, I like her, just her persona, because she don't give a fuck and she's like get in a sense, but she, that's the way she acts, like the way she is. But the music that she puts out is very low vibrational, and they're doing this thing where they're dividing and conquering. They're trying to divide and conquer the feminine and the male energy. They're pushing us against each other, just like that whole uh barrel or a man, shit like that on the internet.
Yeah.
And the whole baby mom, baby dad, if you know how people like refer to each other, or like just the immoral, like the whole side chick era and sneaky link, all of that does derive from the music that we listen to, and especially like what, you know, shit, I was listening to, I know I was listening to Lil Wayne whenever I was fucking
Hmm.
really young, but and we were listening to Lil Wayne at fucking 12, 13, and we all thought we were bloods, literally. Like,
Oh yeah, I heard of it. I heard about that thing, but I don't understand. It's not here.
yeah, it's just a stupid thing. Kids, with just kids that just are trying to find themselves, and they just,
Yeah,
and they take advantage of that. Look at these kids now. Oh my God, so sad. The generations, their attention spans are so low. They're
100%.
they constantly need validation or something to stimulate them. Like they can't sit.
Oh my God, this is so true because it's like they see all these people on Twitch, TikTok, and they think in their little heads that they can be like that person, but in reality, what has that person sacrificed to be there?
And that's the thing too. People can, and I saw this happen, like buy accounts, or you can just know someone in the industry. Just make friends with somebody, and they're like, "Yo, I can boost your account," like making a fake account or something, or just
Hmm.
you can blow up on like TikTok in a few days, and then people will quit their jobs or try to do like I
Yeah.
I swear to God, I cried. I got on TikTok yesterday, and there was someone still doing that NPC shit.
Oh, I hate them.
Um,
I absolutely hate them.
but they were sad to begin with, but like hardly any people were on there. But and it's just dude just doing, oh, thank you. Oh.
What is
It
that just,
breaks my heart. I'm like, bro, you look like a circus monkey. Like,
oh my God, that's true. Like put them in a little suit and it's
and
chained to a wall.
themselves. And then I saw this one of that that Spider-Man boy who plays Miles.
Oh yeah, he lost his shit one time, I think.
Yeah, but I mean, who wouldn't? Like, because what they're doing is fucking damaging to them. Like, who wouldn't lose?
Hmm.
like, and then they start losing their shit whenever people stop getting interested in it because everything is just, everybody's on to the next one. They want to just get to the
Yeah.
trend or what's hot next, and then they want to hate on what passed. Oh, that's stupid, and then and then they want to act like they know shit about the future that's coming in. I just know so many people like that, like um, that just don't have personalities. Really, their personalities are based off of who they hang around, and
Which is sad. Like me and you, when Twitter is where we met, and I mean, it was I kind of you didn't think this was going to happen, this whole podcast thing, and I mean,
well, yeah.
it,
Thing I gotta say is I don't interact with anyone online or answer messages. I don't know why. In Tango,
mhm,
we probably had like a few messages back and forth before we had our first conversation.
mhm.
Like, yeah, I just thought, like, maybe in the beginning I was just like, oh, Daddy, maybe this will happen. But like, you were persistent enough about it. And like, I was like, yeah, okay, let's see. And that first time could have been a fucking podcast right there, like, of us even just like talking. And all the times, like, we do talk off camera or like podcasts. So, I
And this now, this is going to be on the video cast, and we're talking like normal. I mean, we did touch on some dream stuff and stuff like that, and the music industry. And I just wanted to put that out there. It was like good to. This is what it's about. Like it's really just being real, not like, oh, I am going to do.
yeah. And then even if you want to edit this too differently and stuff, like we could like to show people like how different it is when we're flowing to like
Mhm.
even thinking about what we were trying to replicate the day before because
Yeah, because that didn't record, but we did this kind of discussion kind of made it different, and like it worked out quite well. It really did.
yeah.
Um yeah, no, definitely. Like, and we will do another one. We just have to get whatever we'll discuss is cool. But yeah, that was a really interesting one, huh?
Yeah, I thought that was really good. Again, I'm so sad like some of the stuff like from last there are some things
Hmm.
but we'll get around to them. It was fun.
Definitely.
Yeah.
100%. And actually, what was I going to say? I can't remember. I've forgotten what I was going to say. It wasn't be that important anyway.
Still recording too.
It's still recording, which is great. I'll probably need to get that recording anyway. So anyone that is still watching, we appreciate the views. And as I was saying, we are just saying it as it is. Like a lot of points have been made there, and like I say this a lot of the time. It's like stop worshiping these fucking influencers, celebrities, and stuff like that. It's not good for you.
You know what I just saw? And this blew my mind because I was like, we don't even know if this isn't how it is. This dude was arrested because he made a fake band with fake
Mm,
names, fake people, and generated AI music that was fucking awesome and was
really?
paid revenue for it. And he got fucking arrested because like all this thing and people thought these people were, but I was thinking, that's weird. Like, how are y'all gonna do that? Because for like, it's me, he created it. And then I started to think, holy shit, like how many of these artists do we truly know? Even like I said about Beyonce, we
Hmm.
know a lot about that girl. Like she's not like out a lot. Like she's very mysterious and people will just hold on to this one image. Like
Yeah.
but
It's true. And the weird thing is when you say that the dude got arrested for generating AI music, the thing I don't know how that would happen. Basically, when you create something in AI, you have full rights and control of that image or that content. That's your content.
I think it was
You
him.
pre
Yeah, he just got caught and they didn't want people doing it because they're already doing it. But he
mm,
did it and like it got really publicized. Like he made a lot of money and then the whole thing behind it was like these people aren't real, but
well, it's funny. Like
could they do that too? You know what I mean? Have you ever heard of actor or people have fucking, I forget what singers or musicians would have their brother if they didn't want to like do a show at a certain
Mhm.
city, they would have their brother just put like sunglasses on and go and be the
Oh,
performer.
there he is.
Few people did that. Like so people went to this concert thought they were watching somebody perform, but it was really like somebody else showed in, or it was like a double or something. Like what the fuck?
Mhm.
Imagine that. Like what that's like
It's crazy.
mm,
It is crazy. Like, but
oh
the AI. Mhm. Oh, the new one. Wait, what is it? What is it? What does it say?
this is a moon. Yeah, it's just the moon. And it has a
Oh,
cloud. Or the dude in the moon.
oh yeah, that's pretty cool actually. That's pretty cool. Tarot cards are really, really.
Mm,
But like as I was saying about the AI stuff, if you create something in AI, you should. What I was going to make it a point there was you've heard of the Gorillas, the band. That's just one guy. That's just one guy that made that band. He's one person. They're cartoon characters that he made that are the Gorillas, the band. So that
I
in its own, it's
never
similar. Hmm?
fuck, I never knew that.
Yeah, it's what he basically when he gets other people in to sing with him. He had Della Soul in to sing with him, and he had other artists, other people come in to do. There's an actress that does the voice of the Asian girl cartoon character. It's so he kind of made that whole kind of.
Brilliant, dude. And the gorillas are amazing. Like, oh my god. Iconic.
Yeah, no, it's not AI, but it's just that he created all those things. They're not a real, well, they are and they aren't real. They're animated band, but they're
Mm,
not physically real people,
exactly, yeah. And then we
which
talked
is
about some bands that covered their what Slipknot.
Slipknot.
Yeah.
Slipknot are the reason I do this for the same reason they do what they do. Now I'm not going around singing heavy metal music and
By the way,
whacking my head.
so beautiful.
Sorry,
I said thank you, so beautiful.
thank you. But they do that because they want to keep their private life private, and I think that's admirable because they can go to a restaurant with their family and have tea, and no one will bother them
Yeah.
because they don't know what's behind the mask.
Yeah.
That's what like I'm not a fan of their music, but I like their what they like. I have a lot of respect for what they do
Yeah.
because it gives them a private life away from that kind of thing, so they
Mm.
can actually live their life
Having
without
that
being interrupted.
video is kind of like gets you a high. Do you remember that the one dude who did the face reveal? His name was like um Dream,
Mm,
and he wore a mask. Do you know what I'm talking about? All the kids watched him like straight.
yeah,
Then he was so fucking popular, and then he did a face reveal, and bro, the internet just tore him apart. He lost all
that's the thing.
the face just for showing his face. So like I like how you like to do that. Me, I don't like being on camera, and I didn't like doing like Twitch and anything, but like this gets me warmed up and all right to be on
Mhm.
video. And if you ever see me with like colorful wigs, I think like my
Yeah,
episodes I was different. That is not me like doing it for the show. I just do my makeup crazy and usually have crazy colors in my hair naturally. So I feel like
uh,
it's a good it's a good balance, because it's interesting with you with a mask, and then I could just be the pretty girl.
exactly. I was just gonna say we need eye candy. You
Yeah,
know, that's it.
cool.
Like, yeah.
I would tell, I would try to get my homies to let me play in matches with them when they were streaming, because I just thought so much differently than them. I was like, I can bring you in viewers just by being in your game, and I'm good. Like, so you're not really losing much. Like, I would do that for people, and it works. And it's not as sad as it is, but um, we're animals at the end of the day, and we like
That's true.
we like information. It's endless. So
Yeah, that is true. That is true. I say like that's true a lot. But yeah, this this, whoa, I think the recording is 1 hour 44, so we can, I don't know if it's all that long. It might have missed the start, but if you can send me your one, that would be great.
Did you stop yours?
No, I haven't stopped it yet, so I'm still talking. So we're just gonna, I think we'll just, I'll stop in a second and then finish up and say anyone that's like I wasn't meant to get it. This wasn't my choice. It's
That's
just as if this tech picked me, and like it's so you know what's interesting about it is like the all the characters kind of African American descent or African.